Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It's Thursday, June the 26th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local share market is set for a negative start with ASX futures down over 0.4%. Global equities ended mostly in the red overnight despite little market moving news. On Wall Street, the S&P 500 finished flat near its record high. The Dow lost ground, but the Nasdaq gained, led higher by tech stocks. Nvidia shares touched a record high, lifting its market value to $3.75 trillion and making it the world's most valuable company. Tesla shares fell as its European sales slumped for a fifth month. FedEx shares slid after the delivery company forecast quarterly profit below estimates as tariffs weighed on global demand, rival UPS also falling. General Mills provided disappointing profit guidance, sending its shares sharply lower. The US-listed shares of cybersecurity firm BlackBerry surged after forecasting a hike in revenue. And Micron Technology jumped around 5% in extended trade after forecasting better than expected fourth quarter revenue. And US-listed shares of BP jumped around 10% after the Wall Street Journal reported that Royal Dutch Shell is in early stage talks to acquire its London-based rival. Well, at the NATO summit in the Netherlands, leaders have backed a big increase in defence spending that US President Donald Trump had demanded and restated their commitment to defend each other from attack. This as President Trump hailed the swift end to the war between Iran and Israel and said he would seek a commitment from Tehran to end its nuclear ambitions when US and Iranian officials meet for talks next week. Meanwhile, Fed Chair Jerome Powell has wrapped up his testimony before US senators, reiterating that he's committed to keeping rates on hold while acknowledging that they are slightly restrictive and should be lower in time. Meanwhile, capital outflows continue in the US with foreign direct investment well below the 20-year average. The US current account deficit widened to a record $450 billion in the first quarter, some 6% of US GDP, with foreign investment inflows barely covering 10% of that shortfall. US Treasury yields are slightly lower, with the 2-year down to 3.77%, the 10-year at 4.28%. And the US dollar fell to multi-year lows against the euro and British pound, but gained on the Japanese yen as traders considered the prospect of a rate cut. The Aussie dollar has risen above 65 US cents. And Bitcoin is above 107,000 US dollars. Well, a ceasefire between Israel and Iran appears to be holding, reducing the risk of disruptions to the global oil trade. Yet oil prices recovered from a sharp slide early in the week as data showed relatively strong US demand. Brent crude futures almost 1% higher at $67 a barrel. Copper rose 0.8%, iron ore fell around 0.5% to $92 a tonne, and gold firmed to $3,332 an ounce. Ahead locally today, we get a read of job vacancies for May as well as the national accounts for the March quarter. That is your day ahead. See you again tomorrow.